Long time ago, there was this young prince who assumed the throne of the Byzantine.
So okay, now the time is 11:30 p.m. Everyone's asleep, and I realized that the footage, my understanding of the story, has a little something wrong. So I'm gonna try and repeat myself. Okay, I'm gonna be a little bit softer because well, everyone's asleep. So the story goes something like this: there was a man named Bacillus, and there was a man named Michael. Michael was born into a royal family, and Bacillus was born as a peasant. So one day, Michael, he was walking around in the horse stables, and his life was saved by Bacillus. Bacillus was one of like the horse boys. So the horse was rampaging, and Bacillus just jumped in and saved Michael. So after that, Michael was eternally grateful for him. He in turn returned the favor by promoting him, giving him gifts, lots of other stuff. And as time grew, they grew as friends as well. So after a long time, quite a long time, Michael was the ruler of the Byzantine Empire, and Bacillus was, I think, one of like the generals or something, some really high tier thing. Michael was also starting to favor this other guy, or so Bacillus felt. Michael was about to promote this other guy to become ruler, and Bacillus was not happy. So along these years, Bacillus, not only did his bank account grow, but his ego also grew, his ambition also grew. Eventually, when he found out that Michael was about to promote this other guy, he assassinated Michael and took the throne.
Never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. I'm not gonna lie, bro, I had a long time trying to figure out what this law meant. I was like, okay, so that means you just chose shit friends, right? I mean, why not just choose good friends and not find someone like Bacillus? Well, that's actually one major point of it. In every secondary school class, there is definitely one guy who's exactly like Bacillus, who will stab you in the back to get his personal gain on. You gotta avoid those guys like the plague. Now that's for another law, but avoid those guys. That's part one of law two. Number two, the king here made a mistake. Emperor here made a mistake. Instead of choosing the guy who is most fit for the role, he chose a friend instead. I actually didn't realize this until I watched this Robert Greene podcast a while back. Robert Greene's like the author of this book. This law that took forever for me to understand. I bought this book like 2 years ago, by the way, and I've read it before. I never understood it. Turns out that the people that you choose for a certain role has to be because their skill sets fit that role, not because, oh, you're friends with me since primary school, so I will just give you the role, haha.
Pause. Now, this may sound absolutely stupid when you say it out loud like that, but that's pretty interesting because there's a lot of people who still do this regardless.
Most of the time, it's gonna end up in shit. I mean, sometimes you can pick really, really good friends that's not like Bacillus, but oftentimes it's better to choose a professional than choose a friend. It's like, for example, you need heart surgery. Your coronary arteries are all clogged up from grease and shit. Would you give your friend the scalpel and tell him, bro, operate on me, get the shit out of my heart? Or would you like put your trust into an actual surgeon who you may not be proper friends with? You know, now it's starting to click, right? You got to choose someone appropriate for the job rather than someone who is because you're friends with that guy. That's about all I understand from this rule, actually. Until I realized that there was one more key part. When you recruit your enemies, you kind of get a power over them. So a little bit of backstory. There was this guy who created a social media account of me. I'm pretty sure he was the guy. This guy created a social media account of me to make fun of my form in calisthenics. Just to like diss me in general, diss me as a person in general. Obviously, I didn't really give a shit, but I kind of knew who it was. I can't be too sure, but I kind of knew who it was. And honestly, I don't really give a shit. Instagram is Instagram. But I just don't want to be anywhere near this kind of people. So I avoided him. I don't want anything to do with you. That's another law. We'll get into that in another law. But this guy, one day in the gym, so multiple times, you've seen each other multiple times in the gym, you just don't ever talk. One day in the gym, he was going to go back early. He came up to me, give me a fist bump. I was like, what, why, huh, what? I was really confused. So I was like, oh, you zao already? As in like, you going home already? I was like, yeah, I am. I was pondering over that for the next 5 minutes. I wasn't even like focusing on my sets. So I was supposed to doing weighted pull-ups. I wasn't even focusing on the weighted pull-ups. I was thinking like, Why did bro do that? He obviously doesn't like me. I obviously don't like. He knows that I don't like him. Why did he do that? And suddenly I feel like, oh damn, he has power over me, because that was like a big balls move to approach your enemy for like a simple fist bump. You know, I mean, like, I don't know if this is related to the story or not. I'm not too sure if I got a fundamental understanding of the story or not. But that's a little something interesting that you may want to hear. So let's do a little summary. Part one of that is choose good friends. You don't end up someone like Basilius or that guy. Number two, choose the appropriate person for the task rather than the one who is a good friend of yours. You'd rather give a surgeon the scalpel than to give your friend a scalpel. Number three, when you recruit your enemies, you kind of have like a power over them. Use that sparingly because they may resent you for it. And sometimes they may like sabotage your project if they want to. But sometimes they're also gonna be like, oh damn, so this guy is like, he's doing that now, okay? So we're cool now. But they gotta prove that you're cool now. You see? So they got something to prove as well. So that's like the three major points of the second law, 48 laws of power. I wish they taught this more in school actually, because this would be a damn interesting topic. And this would be damn useful to navigate in life. And I'm actually kind of pissed off that they don't teach you this. So this is what this series is going to be about. This is called the Series 48, where I go through each one of the 48 laws of power, where I'm going to go through each one of the 48 laws of power and explain it in terms of the context of today, rather than some king getting executed in the past where we don't relate to. I'm going to use some stories of my own life where we can use each of the following laws. So yeah, that's about it for this video. Cheers, bro. Oof. See you next week.